What is the difference between fasting in Ramadan versus intermittent fasting? There's this idea called intermittent fasting. Now, intermittent fasting is effective. It's just the whole objective behind intermittent fasting is caloric restriction. The way that intermittent fasting typically is done is you have a 16-hour window where you're not eating or maybe even not drinking, and then you have an 8-hour window of opportunity of feeding, and then you repeat that process. You could do it every day, you could do it every other day, you could do it twice a week. But the objective behind intermittent fasting is caloric deficit, insulin reset, and the way that you also do it and the timing which you do it is also to help increase leptin production. That's typically the intention and objective behind intermittent fasting. How is that different from the fasting of Muslims during the month of Ramadan? The way it's different is, number one, it is in the objective and in the intent. So when a Muslim fasts, they're not fasting for the purposes of caloric reduction or hormone optimization or insulin resetting. A Muslim is fasting for the purposes of attaining better God consciousness, more mindfulness, greater sense of sincerity and focus in everything that they do. Now, a consequence of that fasting in Ramadan may be caloric reduction, maybe insulin reset, maybe hormonal optimization, but it's not the objective and it's not the goal. And so that's one of the key differences. Now, is the actual act of fasting, where you abstain from eating and drinking, amongst other things, from dawn to sunset, is that a form of intermittent fasting? Yes. But is it intermittent fasting in and of itself in terms of the objective and the goal and the intention? No. That's one of the key differences between it. Now, one of the other key differences also is intermittent fasting is not necessarily restricted to waking hours. Intermittent fasting could be initiated starting at 6 p.m. into your sleeping hours and waking up, and then maybe around 10 or 11 a.m. You having breakfast or breaking your fast. In the case of the fasting of Ramadan that Muslims engage in and observe, that fasting is done from during waking hours, from dawn until sunset. Now, in certain parts of the world, do some Muslims take the opportunity to sleep during the day and stay up during the night? Yes. Should they be doing that? No. But essentially, that is the in terms of the differences in regards to timing. Is it possible that you will burn more calories and require a little bit more effort and sincerity and self-discipline if you're fasting during the day as opposed to spending half your fast while sleeping, i.e. in the case of intermittent fasting? Yes, it's very possible. But again, the key difference is in the objective. The key difference is also in how it's implemented. The one key thing that anybody observing the fasting of Ramadan as Muslims do is the focus of not making the intention or the objective focused on health. The idea is supposed to be sincere towards God, towards the Creator, the only one worthy and deserving of worship. And so if you make your intention of fasting for anything other than that in regards to one's sincerity and commitment, then on a spiritual level, that would not be appropriate. So I hope that clarifies the difference between the fasting of Ramadan that Muslims observe versus the idea of intermittent fasting. Let me know your question in the comments below. And if you haven't done so already, hit that like button if you like this video. If you didn't, make sure you hit that dislike button twice. And I've got a bunch of videos in the playlist in regards to strength training, mobility, as well as documenting my journey in jiu-jitsu. You can check that out. Hit that subscribe button, bell notification icon to be part of the notification squad. And I'll see you soon.